Hello you guys, let's talk about solving equations using multiplication or division. Alright, so take a look at this first example right here where it says numbers. If x over 4 equals 6, then we have to find out what x is. So I want you to copy the equation in the margin just like I did. X over 4 equals 6. And now, with your red pen, I want you to circle the variable and bring down the wall, just like we did before, okay? And remember, the trick is still, look at what's touching the circle. Do you see dividing by 4 is touching the circle? Well, remember, the only way to destroy dividing by 4 is to use the inverse, to multiply by 4 on both sides of the wall, all right? And when you do that, and you'll see me do this in class, these 4s cross cancel. They cancel out, and they make a giant invisible 1 in front of the x. And then, of course, the x floats down safely. Let the equal sign slide down the wall. And then you can do 6 times 4. That's just 24. So we get x equals 24. Okay, let's look at example 1. T over 8 equals 6. So I wrote it here so I would have some room. T over 8 equals 6. And then grab your red pen and I want you to circle the variable, the t, and bring the wall straight down. And again, the trick is always look at what's touching the circle. I see dividing by 8 touching the circle. So the only way to get rid of dividing by 8 is to multiply by 8 on both sides of the wall. So whatever I do on one side of the wall, I have to do on the other. And then remember what's happening here. The 8s will cancel out and they create a giant invisible 1 down here. Let the t slide down, let the equal sign slide down, and then 6 times 8 would give you 48. All right, take a look at this next example. 3x equals 21. So I wrote it over here, okay? So 3x equals 21. And now with your red pen, circle the variable and bring down the wall underneath the equal sign. And remember, look at what's touching the circle right here. Remember, when the 3 is right next to the x, there's an invisible multiplication sign there. So I see 3 times touching the circle. Well, the only way to get rid of multiplication is to divide by 3 on both sides of the wall. And then we simplify. Remember, 3 divided by 3 creates that giant invisible 1 in front of the x. Let the x slide down, let the equal sign slide down, and then you can do 21 divided by 3, of course, gives you 7. So x equals 7. Okay, let's talk about the guided practice. They want us to solve the equation. Take a look at number 1. 14 equals x divided by 8. So I wrote it just like they gave it to me. 14 equals x divided by 8. Now with your red, grab your red pen, circle the variable, and bring the wall down underneath the equal sign. And remember, the trick is always look at what's touching the circle. I see dividing by 8 touching the circle. So the only way to destroy dividing by 8 is to do the inverse. We're going to multiply by 8. But whatever I do on one side, I have to copy on the other side here. And then we just simplify, okay? 8 times 14 gave me 112. Let the equal sign come straight down. And then over here, the 8s cancel out. They destroy each other, and they create a giant invisible 1, and then let the x come down. So we just get x equals 112. All right, take a look at number 4. 8x equals 72. So copy the equation just like you see it, all right? And then grab your red pen and circle the variable, bring down the wall underneath the equal sign, and take a look at what's touching the circle. I see 8 times touching the circle. Well, the only way to destroy multiplying by 8 is to divide by 8. So we have to divide by 8 on both sides of the wall. And then let's simplify. 8 divided by 8 gives us that giant invisible 1. Let the x slide down, let the equal sign slide down, and then 72 divided by 8 gives you 9. Okay, take a look at example 4 with me, writing repeating decimals as a fraction. So here's a trick, and you need to write this in the margin of your note-taking guide. When you see a bar, I want you to think 9s. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say I gave you 0.5 with a bar over the 5 only. Well, anytime I see the bar, I put a 9 in the denominator of the fraction. See how there's only one number repeating? I only put 1 9. And then I just grab the number that's repeating and put it on top. So 0.5 with a bar over it is the exact same thing as 5 over 9. Take a look at this next one. 0.18 with the bar over the 1 and the 8. Well, when I see two numbers repeating, I put two 9s down in the bottom, and then I just grab the numbers that are repeating. I put the 18 on top. So this fraction is just 18 over 99, and then I divide both by 9 to reduce a fraction, and I get 2/11ths. And then take a look at this next example. Let's say I had 0.123 with a bar over all three of them. Well, when I see three numbers repeating, I put three 9s down in the bottom. And then I just grab the numbers that were repeating and put them on top. So I have 123 over 999. So I divide both by 3 to reduce it. And remember, if you don't remember if 3 goes into the numbers, add them up. 1 plus 2 plus 3 makes 6, and 3 would go into 6. And of course, 9 plus 9 plus 9 makes 27, and 3 would go into 27. So 3 goes into both of those. And we would get 41 over 333. So anytime you see a repeating decimal, remember, I want you to think of 9s. So if one number repeats, use 1 9. If two numbers repeat, use 2 9s. And if three numbers repeat, use 3 9s. Okay, so take a look at the guided practice with me. Write the repeating decimal as a fraction. Well, I see one number repeats, so I put 1 9 down on the bottom, and then I just put the 2 on top. So the 0.2 repeating is just 2 ninths. Look at number 6. I see one number repeating, so I put 1 9 down in the bottom, and then I just put the 6 on top. So 6 over 9 I could reduce, divide both by 3, and I get 2/3. Look at number 7. I have 0.82 with a bar over both of them. Well, when I see two numbers repeat, I put two 9s. So it's 82 over 99, and that's as far as I could go.